All right, I see Mr. Jorge Ortegon. Number on the docket, Mr. Ortegon, if you're ready to make an announcement.
Yes, Your Honor. I have the docket here in front of me. I apologize for that. I started looking for it right away. It's the state of Texas versus Roel Abrego, Your Honor. This would be number
one.
Number one. No wonder I couldn't find it. I never look at number one.
CR 21-00965H, State of Texas versus Roel Abrego Jr. I saw Mr. Abrego earlier.
That is correct. On this case, Judge, we are respectfully requesting a little bit of time. I have been in contact with Melissa Lozano on this matter, Judge. My client is not PTD eligible. However, it is a duty on striking offense, Judge. So we are in the process of trying to see what kind of offer they could make us, Judge.
All right. How much time do you think you need?
I would say no more than 30 days, Judge. 30 days should.
All right. Let's do this. Let me give you October the 14th. That's 10/14 at 9:30. Okay.
At 9:30 a.m.
9/14, 9:30.
We should be ready to go by then, Judge. That's all my client and I have at this time. May we be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. All right, Mr. Galvan.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 54 through 57 on your docket, Pablo Aleman Zapata, and he is logged on this morning.
Number 54 through 57. That's CR 21-06-846H, CR 21-06-847H, CR 21-04-132H, CR 21-04-131H. State of Texas versus Pablo Aleman Zapata. He is present, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. He's there logged on.
All right, and your announcement.
Your Honor, Mr. Zapata is on AIP and I believe a mobile alcohol monitoring device. I believe he hasn't had any violations. We are asking for a little time. We're trying to resolve all these matters together with the state of Texas.
Victoria, any violations on AIP or the mobile device?
On AIP, no violations, Judge, but on the mobile device, I am showing the probation officer received a report from July 25th through August 25th. There were 14 missed tests, 17 that were late, and a failed test on July 25th of a 0.0362.
All right, what, July the what, I'm sorry?
25th.
July 25th.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what was a BAC?
0.0362.
All right, this is my understanding, his first violation. There's been no sanctions or admonishments. Is that correct, Mr. Galvan, to your knowledge as well?
That is to my knowledge.
All right, and Mr. Zapata, do you speak English?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. I'm understanding that while there's no AIP violations, and thank you for that.
Yes,
we have some missed tests, some late tests, and a BAC violation.
The missing tests, Your Honor, were for the payment. The payment didn't go through, and those days that it didn't go through was because they were pending tests, but the tests they all came in through, like they were all, when I made the payment, they all went through.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about what happened on July 25th?
I smoke menthols. I smoke menthol cigarettes, and when I blew it, it drew that number. So they told me to refrain from smoking menthols. So I haven't been smoking any cigarettes since then.
Okay. So here's what I always do, Mr. Aleman, Mr. Zapata, I'm sorry. Here's what I always do. I always give everyone, one verbal admonishment. That's what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to give you a verbal admonishment. We're not going to take any action other than I'm going to tell you that, listen, we're watching. I'm watching. I know that you had 14 missed tests, 17 late tests. I'm not going to even question why or how or what happened. The BAC violation, I'm going to go ahead and accept your excuse this time. However, what I will tell you is that if there's any other violation, missed test, late test, or any positive, whether it's because you're smoking menthols or not, we will take action the next time. So
Yes,
I
sir.
guess what I'm trying to tell you is that you get one opportunity to get a verbal admonishment, but you don't get two. Okay.
Right, sir, yes,
And
sir.
so today nothing's going to happen. Mr. Galvan, I'm sure, is asking for some additional time on your cases. And I'm going to grant him that additional time. In just a minute, I'm going to ask him how much time he needs. But for you, I want you to know that between now and then, if there's any other violations, then our probation officer is going to bring it to my attention. If it's serious enough, we're going to bring you before that next hearing. And then we'll be dealing with other sanctions. You are already on AIP. All right. So the next sanction besides AIP is jail time or a scram device, which I don't think you necessarily want to pay the cost to have a scram device on your ankle that monitors alcohol 24 hours a day, 7 days a week continuously because of the cost. But those are the next steps that we take. We start to become more serious about how to monitor those of you that can't comply with the conditions. These are conditions that were placed on you so that you can be free on bond, okay? Being out on bond is not, it's subject to what the court imposes based on certain qualifications or certain criteria. This is your second DWI. So I look at these cases differently because you've already had one prior DWI, no matter how it was disposed of. This is your second. And so for those reasons, I look at it differently. But again, everybody's entitled to a verbal admonishment, and I'm giving you that verbal admonishment. Know that we're going to put it down on our records that we gave you a verbal admonishment, and we'll go from there in case there's another issue down the road. I hope there's not. I really do. And I hope
No,
that
there won't be, sir. There won't be, Your Honor. I'm working now, and I mean, I should be paying off my debts, soon, and I'm getting on my feet now, So I'm
Sure.
not trying to. I really appreciate this chance, sir. I really do.
I think everybody deserves at least an admonishment so that they can be aware that we're watching, and then hopefully we don't let certain things like this happen again. And I trust that it won't. Okay.
It won't, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mr. Galvan, how much time do you need and what reset date can I give you?
Your Honor, 30 days would be great.
Okay. How about I give you October 14th?
October 14th.
So
Thank you, Your Honor.
10/14 at 9:30, Mr. Zapata. Okay.
Nothing further, may I be excused?
You and Mr. Zapata are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Let's move over to David Cantu.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Cantu here representing Miguel Angel de Leon, numbers 11 and 12 on your docket.
Number 11 and 12, CR 20-05348H, CR 21-01-3068, State of Texas versus Miguel Angel de Leon. Is Mr. de Leon present?
Your Honor, I have seen that he's logged in.
I do see him there. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Cantu, your announcement.
Your Honor, we already began negotiating these cases with the state. We're just waiting for an email back from the state. Just need some additional time so we can organize that, the plea paperwork, Judge.
All right. Do you anticipate this being a case that gets worked out that I need to give you maybe an afternoon setting versus a morning setting?
Yes. Yeah, I think it should work out fine, Judge.
Fine. I can give you maybe 3 to 4 weeks. I can give you October 7th, October 12th at 2 o'clock, whatever works better for you.
October 7th will be fine, Judge.
Okay, let's go ahead and do 10/7 at 2 o'clock. Okay, that's 10/7 at 2 o'clock. Mr. De Leon, stay in contact with your attorney. You will need to fill out some documents if this case does get resolved by way of a plea, and we'll see you on December 7th at 2 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Sounds good.
I'm sorry, October 7th. October 7th.
October 7th.
Yes, October 7th. I'm sorry. All right. Anything else, Mr. Cantu?
Yes, Your Honor. One more case, number 45. That's Adrian Reyes.
Number 45. All right, that's CR 21-06-087H, State of Texas versus Adrian Dario Reyes. Is Mr. Reyes present?
He's logged in with a relative cell phone. It's labeled Otilia Guzman.
I'm looking for him right now. If he can unmute himself, that would help me identify him real quick. Let's see an Otilia Guzman.
He just turned on his video here, Judge.
Okay, while we wait for him to do that, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, this was a case where we had worked out an agreement with the state, dismissal with the class.
All retired.
Go ahead, Mr. Cantu.
My client has taken the class. We just need to hand the certificate over to the state.
All right, is this a case where with the certificate, the case might be administratively taken care of, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor. Once we get that document from Attorney Cantu, I believe we can take care of this administratively, Your Honor.
All right, let me go ahead and set this up for a quick reset, just a quick turnaround of 1 week. Let me go ahead and set it up for September 21st. That's 9/21. Because you already have, he's already completed the class, right? Is that correct, Mr. Cantu?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, so yeah, 9/21 at 9:30. That way that can get taken care of and we can make sure that it's disposed of, okay?
That's all I have before your court this morning, Judge.
All right, then you're excused. You and Mr. Reyes are also excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Greg Trevino.
Good morning, Your Honor. Gregorio Treviño for number 52 and 53, Your Honor. Roosevelt Vega.
Roosevelt Vega, that's CR 2104-163H, CR 2104-162H, State of Texas versus Roosevelt Vasquez Vega. Is Mr. Vega present? If you're on mute, please unmute yourself just to identify yourself.
He should be on, Your Honor.
Roosevelt Vega? Are you on mute, Mr. Vega? I don't see anybody with that name on, Mr. Trevino.
I'll give him a call, Your Honor, if you can.
I don't have a problem granting a motion for continuance. It seems like he hasn't been granted one, so motion for continuance. If you're requesting one, I can grant you that so you can move on with your morning.
Thank you, Judge. And he is employed, he is working so at refinery, so he may be trying to log on.
Right. Motion for continuance number 1 is granted. He will need to be present at the next hearing, or a warrant at that point will be issued. I'm assuming you're asking for some additional time?
Yes, Your Honor. He is a PTD applicant on this DWI. We submitted the application, so I just need some time, Your Honor, to make an announcement regarding the status.
All right. Can I give you October the 5th?
October 5 is good, Your Honor. Thank you.
October 5th, 2021 at 9:30. Again, 10/5 at 9:30, and his presence at that time will be required or a warrant will be issued. Any contact with him, just tell him to log on at that time.
I will, Your Honor. I'll send them text now. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Trevino?
Your Honor, that's all I have. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
I know.
All right, let's move over to Mr. Carlos Garza. Mr. Garza, you're on mute.
Yes, Judge. Couldn't find that damn unmute thing. All right, I'm here on number 8, Jesus Castillo.
Sure, CR 19-093-85H, State of Texas versus Jesus Angel Castillo.
We communicated with him, Judge, and so he should be on somewhere around here.
All right, is Jesus Angel Castillo present?
There he is.
All right, I see him there.
There he is. I just texted I just sent email to the prosecutor asking for a recommendation. We just need a recommendation. I think we can have a plea on the next setting.
Okay.
Attorney Garza, we'll get back with you right after docket and send over that recommendation right away.
Very good, Mr. Garcia. That's all I have, Judge.
So give me a second real quick. Mr. Garza, this is a case that you anticipate being able to be worked out by way of a plea? Possibly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. If I give you maybe 3 weeks in the afternoon for a court setting, would that work for you?
Yes, it would.
All right, 10/7 at 2 o'clock. 10/7 at 2 o'clock, okay?
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Castillo?
Ajá.
Did you hear that?
Sí, dime.
Sí, habla a la oficina después que colgamos aquí, por favor, okay?
Ok, gracias.
All right,
Okay,
Carlos,
thank
can
you,
you
Judge.
just tell him that the court date has been reset for 10/7 at 2?
I will. Thank you, Judge. That's all I have.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Señor Castillo, se le va a poner la fecha para el 7 de octubre a las 2 de la tarde.
7 de octubre a las 2 de la tarde.
October 7, 2 p.m.
Yes, at 2 p.m.
Sí.
Ah, ok, está bien, gracias.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Sammy Reyes,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning. What
Number
on the
23
docket?
and 24.
23 and 24. All right, that's CR 2107-515H, as well as CR 2107-514H, State of Texas versus Alejandro Gonzalez.
Your Honor, Samuel Reyes for Alejandro Gonzalez, and he has a PTD candidate. We've submitted an application. However, Mr. Gonzalez has some citations with the JP that are pending, and he's been instructed to take care of those before he will be considered for the PTD. So I'm asking for 30 days to get those citations paid up, and then hopefully he'll be approved for the PTD program.
All right. Is Mr. Alejandro Gonzalez present?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to go ahead and give you 30 days, and I'm going to reset this case for October 14th. That's 10/14 at 9:30. Okay, 10/14 at 9:30. Please stay in contact with Mr. Reyes so that he can exactly tell you what you need and what needs to do, what you need to do. Try to get those citations taken care of, and can help you on the PTD. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you so
10/14
much,
at
Judge.
9:30.
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
Your excuse. Thank you,
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Rocio, Yuri Rocio.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on number 35 on your docket, Hector Javier Martinez. My client is present on Zoom, as well as the victim, Ms. Zamora.
All right. So we need to put on some victim testimony. That's my understanding, correct?
That's
Yes,
correct,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
And I did email Mr. Garcia this morning the certificate of completion on the anger management course, Your Honor.
All right. This is CR 20-038048, State of Texas versus Hector Javier Martinez Jr. And you said that Mr. Martinez is present, correct?
He is present, Your Honor, but he did contact my office that he's unable to see anyone and that his screen is black. Mr. Martinez, can you unmute yourself? I think he was having difficulties, Your Honor.
All right. And we do have a victim, right? Who's present?
Yes.
And
Ms. Zamora.
Is Ms. Zamora present?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Zamora, can I have you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Garcia, you may proceed with the testimony of the victim.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Zamora, please state your full name for the record.
Giselle Elaine Zamora.
And what is your relationship with the defendant?
He is my husband.
And how long have you two been together?
6 years now.
And do you live in the same house?
Yes, we've been living together for a long time now.
And can you tell me what happened on the night in question? I believe it was February 12th, 2020.
Yes. Well, actually, it was I was asleep and he came in, right? And he was I guess trying to go to sleep with me already. And it's just that, I got moody and, so we started, that's how it all started. We started arguing, and then he didn't know that my little brother was there. And so we started, going at it and stuff like that. And we started yelling at each other. And that's when my brother, I didn't know he had called the cops. It was my little brother that had called the cops. And that's when I kicked out my husband. He went outside, and that's when I locked him out. And that's when the cops were already outside, and they had saw him outside.
Okay, Ms. Zamora, can you tell us, were there any violent acts involved?
No, nothing like that.
And is there a history of violence in your relationship?
No, never.
And are you concerned about any future violent acts?
No. I think it was just a misunderstanding, and but nothing like that ever has happened.
And is it your wish today, Ms. Zamora, to drop the charges against the defendant?
Yes.
And you do understand that by dropping these charges, that this case cannot be reopened in the future?
Yes.
However, you do understand that if another incident were to occur, you can open up a new case.
Yes.
That is all that we have at this time, Your Honor. We've already received the anger management certificate. Now that we've got the victim testimony on the record, all that remains is the affidavit of non-prosecution, which Ms. Zamora is scheduled to come in and submit next week.
All right, let me go ahead and give this a short reset date for September the 30th. That way we can make sure that she takes care of that affidavit at the DA's office. Reset for 9:30. This would most likely be taken care of administratively, Ms. Rocio, but we'll just set it up on the docket just to follow up on it, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, having nothing further, may I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Your Honor, may Ms. Zamora be excused?
Yes, Ms. Zamora, you're also excused. Thank you so much for logging on.
Thank you.
Ms. Dora Garza, I saw you raising your hand.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have an arraignment, Arturo Escobar. He is present. This is number 13.
All right, that's CR 21065188, State of Texas versus Arturo de Jesus Escobar. Is Mr. Escobar present?
Yeah.
Mr. Escobar?
I believe he speaks Spanish, Judge, but I did see him. I saw him on my second screen. He's in his vehicle and wearing a black shirt.
Yes. All right. Carlos, can you translate to, I see him there, Mr. Arturo Escobar. Let him know. that-
Yes.
All right, Mr. Escobar, can I have you raise your right hand?
Señor Escobar, ¿puede levantar su mano derecha?
Mande.
Levante su mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Jura que el testimonio que va a dar esta mañana será la verdad y solamente la verdad, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Is your true and correct name Arturo de Jesus Escobar?
¿Es su nombre correcto y verdadero Arturo de Jesús Escobar?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Escobar, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated. That is a Class B misdemeanor. I need to advise you that a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor?
Señor Escobar, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque es acusado de una ofensa de manejando intoxicado, que se considera un delito menor clase B. Y tengo que avisarle que con esta ofensa lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir serían como 6 meses en el condado, una multa de $2,000 o las dos cosas ya ha sido encontrado culpable. ¿Sí entiende lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir?
Sí.
Yes.
Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
¿Alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
No.
No.
Counsel, speaking with your client, do you find him to be mentally competent, able to assist?
Yes, Your Honor, he is competent.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that Arturo de Jesus Escobar is mentally competent. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty for him at this time. I'm going to go ahead and reset this case for October the 28th. That's 10/28 at 9:30 in the morning. Okay, 10/28 as a status. Let me inquire from the state before letting him go whether or not the state is requiring a mobile device on this DWI.
Your Honor, at this time, the state is requesting a mobile device. It does not meet the 4 prongs that the court usually requires, but we are still requesting a mobile device.
All right, thank you for that. Because it doesn't meet the 4 prongs that the court has laid out, the court will not make any additional modifications to his bond conditions at this time, Ms. Garza. So we'll keep it the date of October 28th at 9:30 with no additional bond modifications at this time.
He currently does have the interlock device with, I believe it's America. I'm asking if Your Honor can then order that it be removed, Judge.
As long as there's been no violations, Ms. Garza, typically if I'll grant my probation officer the opportunity to investigate. So if you want to move up the date, I have no problem. I'm going to give you the 28th day at this time, but give Ms. Victoria Rodriguez the information on his mobile device and we'll inquire to see if there's been any violations. If there's
Yes.
0 violations, I have 0 problems removing it. If there are violations, well then of course, we're going to get into some issues about whether or not he should have it to begin with. But I have no problem with that. If you want to move up the date, once you give that information to Victoria and there's 0 violations and she can confirm, then call our office, we'll move it up, not a problem.
Okay, Judge, I'll go ahead and do that. That's all I have before Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may, thank you.
Thank you.
Señor Escobar, se le va a poner una nueva audiencia para el 28 de octubre a las 9:30 de la mañana. Quédese en comunicación con su abogado.
Gracias.
Thank you. Para tirar.
All right, let's move over to George Munoz.
Good morning, Judge. I have number 2 on the court's docket, John Arispe, CR 20-04456-H.
Yes, this is a case that was previously set for trial in, I guess, trial in August. And we had to pass it since we weren't in trial. Your announcement, Mr. Munoz?
That's correct, Judge. I'd ask the court to leave this on the trial docket, Judge.
Sure.
Whenever that may be.
Is this a case that we've already explored the possibility of doing a bench trial and we've ruled against it?
This is one of those cases that we have ruled against a bench trial, Judge, on behalf of the state.
Okay. So that kind of puts us back to square one. And right now, George, the dates that I'm giving are December the 2nd and December the 6th. And we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at that time.
And I would ask the state to send me one final recommendation so that I can talk to my client about this, Judge.
We'll send it over after document, Munoz.
Perfect.
All right, December 2nd at 1:30, December 6th for trial at 1:30. We'll see where we're at that point, okay?
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused, Judge?
You may be excused. Thank you. All right, I see Mr. Rogers. Just turn on his camera. Mr. Rogers, what number?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 27 on the court's docket. It's Justin Anthony Harris.
Number 27, CR 21-03-583H, State of Texas versus Justin Anthony Harris. This is a bond modification. Is Mr. Harris present first and foremost?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
Yes, I see him there. Now I'm showing, and Mr. Rogers, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm showing 12 skip test, and he's been blocked since August the 17th for non-payment of his mobile device. This is a BAC with a 0.15 or higher. Were you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor. I just found out about that yesterday. I did speak to Mr. Harris about that. You know, Your Honor, as silly as this sounds, we are going to blame it on his dog. His dog chewed up his device. He doesn't have the funds to pay for a new device. He told me that he's actually had this happen once before and he got his device within a day. But right now he's a little tight on funds, having just paid his rent and bills, and said he wouldn't be able to get the money for that device until next Friday.
So let me ask Mr. Garcia, what we do when your dog eats your homework or your dog eats your device.
Can we have some photo evidence, Judge?
I have it with me. We did prepare for that, Your Honor. He does have it in front of him.
Judge, if that's the case, I'll take Mr. Rogers' word for it, and I'm sure he'll get in contact with me afterwards. I'd ask for a quick reset, Judge, 1, and 2, I would ask still for an admonishment from the court, being that there are violations. Obviously, I'll take Mr. Rogers' word for it. I understand things happen sometimes. But again, I would ask for a reset just to monitor him. And 2, I would still continue to ask for an admonishment from this court, Judge.
Okay, are we talking about, so the skip tests are as a result of the dog eating the device?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, as long as you provide us with confirmation that that has been dog tampered and not, tampered because, it's been tampered some other way.
Yes, sir.
I have a dog. I know what dog tampering means and what it looks like. He
Yes, sir.
seems to be tampering quite a bit lately. Let me go ahead and give you a short reset. Stay in contact with Mr. Garcia.
Yes, sir, I will.
2 weeks. I'm going to give you 2 weeks so we can see where we're at, so we can see how we can address this issue, because at some point we still need to, I have to look at several things. First of all, is this his first DWI? If it is, and it's just above a 0.15, and that's a reason for the device, well, then we can address it and we can look into it. And it's his first case. Okay. Now, I have no problem. Let's take a look at it. We won't take any action at this time. Mr. Harris, stay in contact with your attorney. We need to address the issue, right? We're going to address the issue one way or the other. It doesn't just go away because your dog ate your homework, or it doesn't just go away because your dog ate your device. We got to address it, but given the fact that this is your first offense, I will give you some leeway. We won't take any action at this time. I'll let Mr. Rogers and Mr. Garcia work through this, and we'll they'll hopefully have a resolution for me on September 30th at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Harris, you're excused. Stay in contact with Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, do you have any other cases?
Your Honor, Sid Greehey asked me if I could make a quick announcement on one of his cases. It's number 46 on the court's docket. I believe the only thing we're waiting for was an A&P to be filed, but the victim is the complaining witness's mother. The complaining witness is the defendant's mother. Mr. Greehey said he hadn't heard anything from her yet, but an A&P should have been filed, and I think we're just waiting on a dismissal on that.
Does the state have any information on that?
I'm sorry, which case was that, Mr. Rogers?
Gabriel Cabrera Rios?
Your Honor, if I recollect correctly, and I don't mean to interject, ADA Gerardo, this is a case, I believe, so she's had an A&P appointment twice, Judge. Has not showed up to both appointments. I think there was a third, this is the third appointment that she didn't show up to. And Mr. Rogers, if you know the answer to this, I think if I recollect correctly, this is the defendant that had some, I don't remember, there were some medical issues, I think, if I recall correctly.
I don't know too much about this case, Mr. Garcia, but on the notes that Sid left for me, he did say there's a mentally handicapped ABI.
That's
so
correct.
I think that may be what you're talking about.
Yes. So at this time, Judge, I think the best way to go about it is perhaps set it up for a quick bench trial. 3 weeks, Judge, just to subpoena her, and then at that point we can take care of it. But if she shows up, we'll take her testimony and her word for it. If she doesn't, then I think.
Okay. Let me. I know Jackie's looking through my calendar right now for about a 3-week.
And it can be a Tuesday or Thursday, Judge.
Okay.
Morning is fine. Morning is fine, Judge. We've been in contact with her. She just hasn't come in for an A&P. So I do want to subpoena her and just to make sure we cover our bases.
Let me do September 30th. Okay. Bench trial, September 30th, 2021 at 9:30. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Roger, let Mr. Greehey know that.
If for some reason Mr. Greehey can't attend that, can I step in for them on that hearing?
No problem.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. That's all I have before the court. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Y'all have a great day.
You too. Now I typically go with people that have their cameras on. I see Ms. Villanueva. She's up next, but she doesn't have her camera on. I assume she's in another court. So let's go. Oh, there she is.
No,
All
Judge,
right. All right. Okay. I just wanted to let everyone know that that's kind of how I've been treating everyone. I'm mindful that you all have multiple courts to be in.
Judge, I have number 14.
All right, number 14. CR 21-00231H, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Esteves. This is a bond modification scram device. Victoria, how are we on scram? Do we have any information?
Yes, Judge, no violations on Scram. He is on AIP, and there was one violation on August 15th when the field officers went out and he didn't answer.
All right, is he present? Is Jeffrey present?
He should be.
Yes.
Yeah, I see him there. Okay. All right, and Ms. Villanueva, your announcement?
Judge, well, I was going to request that my client be considered for removal from AIP, but I wasn't aware of the violation he had. He has been on AIP since April, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering if the court would consider removing him from AIP since he does have the scram device at this point.
We have no opposition to that, Judge. If he continues on the scram device, we have no opposition.
All right. The court will go ahead and remove him from AIP. There's one violation, but obviously he's been on it for quite some time and there's no violations on the scram device, so the court will remove him from AIP.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and your announcement in terms of the case?
Judge, he does have a pending federal case. We have no date as of when that's going to be resolved. So I believe last time he had given us a date of in November.
You want me to go
November,
ahead? Yeah, I have the 18th. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, 11/18 at 9:30, okay?
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Mr. Esteves, stay in contact with Ms. Villanueva. We'll see you on the 18th of November, okay?
Okay, thank you.
AIP will be removed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. Mr. Gonzalez, Richard.
Morning, Judge. Judge, I have number 42 and 43 on the docket.
42 and 43. This is CR 1907-419H, as well as CR 1907-418H, State of Texas versus Juan Antonio Ozuna Jr. Case was previously set for trial in August. I see Mr. Juan Ozuna online. Mr. Gonzalez, your announcement.
Judge, this is kind of an old case, Your Honor. I'd like to have an opportunity to speak to the prosecutors. I know back in, I don't know, a while back, the alleged victims were indicating they would like to proceed forward, Your Honor. I'd like to see if that is still the same position that they are taking. If so, Judge, I'd like to see if there's some type of a package deal on that we can make it work out on this. Maybe, you know, a plea to one, dismiss the other type of situation, Judge. I'm just asking for more time.
How much time are you looking at, Richard?
Judge, if you could give me maybe just 30 days, I think I should be able to get this cleared up.
Now, do you want me to set this up in the morning or in the afternoon? And if we set it up in the afternoon, you can still make an announcement. But if you set it up in the morning, then I won't take any plea up. So that's
It's probably, well, if they're still wanting to go forward, Judge, it's probably going to end up being a plea. It's just going to be what are the terms of that plea? So I'd like to try to get this taken care of on that day if possible. So
Yeah,
if I can do that in the morning, I can do that.
So let me do this. Let me set it up for the afternoon. And if you need to make an announcement, you can make it at that time, but at least it's set for the afternoon in case it is a plea. I only take up pleas in the afternoon, okay?
Okay, you got it, Judge. Not a problem.
That's just for efficiency purposes, just so that we don't hold other people up in the morning while we're doing pleas, okay?
Okay.
But I'll set it up for 2 o'clock, and if it doesn't work out, no problem. You just make the announcement and we'll set it back up in the morning and we'll work accordingly.
And what day was this?
October 14th.
All right, Judge, you got it.
October 14th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You are excused. Thank you. You and your client are excused. So
Thank you, Your
stay in
Honor.
contact with your lawyer, okay?
Thank
10:14,
you, Your
2
Honor.
o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ramos, Andres Ramos, number 25, it looks like.
I'm standing in for Renee Flores on number 25, Judge Jessica Carolina Gonzalez, CR 186783H.
This is also another case that was previously set for trial in August.
Yes, Judge, and that's the same announcement. We'll need a trial date, Judge, and probably a pretrial date at some point to urge pretrial motions.
All right, this is a false report to a police officer. Any opportunity or chance that this one could get resolved with by way of bench trial?
This may be one, Judge. However, I would ask for a 2-week reset to staff with my superiors. This isn't one that we've staffed previously, so I'd like that opportunity first, Judge.
This is a case that's associated with a custody case, and just it's all kinds of accusations from the complaining witness. I wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't show up to, but yes, Mr. Garcia is right. We'll get a chance to staff this and go from there, Judge.
Is this something that you all would be interested in maybe doing and disposing of by way of a bench trial much sooner than a jury trial?
Maybe, Judge. Maybe I'll need to discuss that with Mr. Flores, but there's a possibility of that. But we'd like, I think, be prudent at this point to get a trial date and discuss it with Mr. Garcia and see if we can staff it and work something out.
Let me do this. Let me give you a reset date for September 30th at 9:30. You're probably going to be looking at a December trial date, assuming we go to trial in December.
For jury trial.
For jury trial. But if I were to give you a bench trial, I would probably be looking at November, a November date, like an early November date.
Okay.
So those are the two options. Obviously, one would be a guarantee date. The other one would be a we hope date. And we don't know what's going to be happening with our trial dates as far as December. Maybe we're back in session and we're back on schedule. Maybe we're not. But I still want to come back on September 30th, September 30th at 9:30, just to explore the option of, hey, where are we? What can we do to resolve this? If it's part of some other problem, maybe the state will look at it considerably and work with you. But again, we'll be back on September 30th. If that's okay.
Good. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything else?
And this is, she's present with me here, Judge, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. That's all we have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Mr. Alvarez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have on the court's docket number 7, 26, and 15.
Let's start off with number 7. CR 19-15-551H, Eliseo Carrion. This is a mobile device was removed. I suspect it was removed because there was no issues. Case previously set for trial in August. Mr. Carrion is present. Your announcement, Mr. Alvarez.
We're present just for a status on the request for a trial date, Your Honor.
Okay. And the state is still of the opinion that no bench trials on DWIs. So at this point, the best I can probably do for you is to give you put you back on the docket board in December. Are you okay with that, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, Your Honor.
12/2 at 1:30 for docket call. That's a Thursday, and then 12/6 at 1:30 for trial. And those are tentative dates, but we'll keep those until we learn otherwise.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
for number 7, you said you had another one, or you had 2 more?
Yes, number 26, Dennis Alexis Gutierrez.
All right, that's CR 20-12-120H, State of Texas versus Dennis Alexis Gutierrez. A scram device was ordered on August the 17th. Device to be obtained by August the 24th. Did we have any information on that, Victoria?
Yes, Judge, he did obtain it and there has been no violations.
Awesome. All right. And your announcement.
We announced already, Your Honor. We're just asking for a trial date.
Because at this point, the only dates that I'm giving are December 2nd. I'm going to give you the same dates, Mr. Alvarez.
Yes,
it looks
sir.
like I was looking at those dates and it seems like you have the majority of them. So at some point, one of those cases is going to go if one goes. If not, we can reshuffle at that point. Okay. So 12/2 at 1:30 for docket call, 12/6 for trial at 1:30, and we'll see where we're at that point. Okay.
Yes, sir. And I believe I have one more, number 15, Victor Torres Galvan, CR 18-159-112-H.
This is another one that you were asking for a trial date.
Yes, sir.
This is a bond modification. However, we do have some violations here for Mr. Victor Torres. Is Victor Torres present? Victor Torres Galvan? If you're on mute, please unmute yourself. Victor Torres Galvan. We have 25 missed tests and information that he blocks his camera when testing, Mr. Alvarez. I'm not sure if you were made aware of that.
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
Yeah, so those are some violations that he has. He's not present here today. So typically speaking, I would allow you to request a motion for continuance, but because of the violations, we're not going to go down that road. So I will ask the state, do they have an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. The state requests that a judgment nisi be granted, a capias issued, and all bonds forfeited for this no-show defendant.
Judgment nisi will be granted, capias issued, bond forfeited to the state for the arrest of Victor Torres Galvan. Mr. Alvarez, make contact with Mr. Galvan. Let him know of the 25 missed tests and the fact that he's blocking the camera. We can send you copies of those missed tests and information about it. I'm sure we could even send you videos so that you can confer with your client. But I don't know, have we given him a previous admonishment? Give us 1 second. We're going to check to see if an admonishment had previously been given for him.
Madam, I'm calling for an substitute.
It doesn't look like we have previously given him any admonishments, Mr. Alvarez. Again, I would just ask for him to come in and we can talk about those videos. I would like to see him blocking the camera and see where we're at, but this is one in which he needs to be present. So,
Judge, is there a delay from the time you sign the capias to the time it's entered in the computer?
Maybe the state would probably would have a better.
I believe it's a few days, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Alvarez. I don't know the exact timeline, but I do think that there's somewhat of a buffer period between judge issuing the nisi and it actually being signed. Or issued.
By the time the staff works on it and then sends it back to me and I sign it, I would say probably a good 3-4 days, maybe a week, depending on whether the weekend gets involved.
Oh, no, he's an attorney. And what they did was, whenever he's on a case.
Judge, he's a court-appointed case and we have lost track of him for the numbers we have. We're going to contact Indigent Defense, see if I can't get him in. Obviously, we haven't had contact with him.
And
I did for him to be arrested, but we'll
Mr.
try, go ahead.
Mr. Alves, I don't mean to interject. I don't know if this helps you any, but he is on probation on another case. So I don't know if maybe that probation officer has a better number for him. I don't know who his probation officer would be, Judge, but I do know he is on probation.
Felony probation?
No, it's a DWI before this court.
All right, let's check to see if, Victoria, do you know who his PO is?
Yes, Your Honor, it is Jose Lasso.
Jose Lasso, Mr. Alvarez.
I'll get a hold of him today, Your Honor.
All right, thank
Mr.
you so
Lawson.
much.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Singh.
Yes, Your Honor. We're here for numbers 38 through 40 on the docket sheet for George Luis Navarro. He's currently present, but he called in via phone since he was having some issues with the video for Zoom. So he's the number that ends last 3 digits 402.
I see him there. He has his microphone on. So let me go ahead and call this case CR 21089588H, CR 21089559H, and CR 21090002H. State of Texas versus George Luis Navarro. Does the state have an announcement on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a restitution
Your Honor,
hearing.
I don't mean to interject. Jorge or George, if you want to mute your phone since it's repeating on the record here.
I muted him.
Okay. And somebody else is repeating, I guess.
Your Honor, the state's announcement in these 3 restitution hearings is that the restitution will be set to 0. I spoke to the defendant's mother, who is the victim in this case, as well as the guardian of the defendant's sister, who is a minor victim. She was of the opinion that she's not going to be getting any money back from her son, and I didn't want to hold that against them. So she was okay with setting the restitution for these cases at 0.
At the request of the District Attorney's Office, the case against Jorge Luis Navarro, restitution in all cases is hereby set at 0. All right, Mr. Singh, anything else?
No, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You and your client are excused. Mr. Navarro, restitution is set at 0. You may log off.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez. Paco.
That's it?
That's it. All right, Paco, you're on mute.
Judge.
Yes, sir.
I have number 22 on your docket, CR number 2101240H, Nakona Garcia, Your Honor. She should be
All right.
Judge.
Is Nakona Garcia present?
I'm here.
All right, I do see her there. Mr. Gonzalez, your announcement?
Your Honor, we're going to need some time. She's elected to apply for pretrial diversion. And I talked to her about it because evidently the rule is no longer that insurance and driver's license is required on theft cases, Your Honor, from what I understand, Your Honor. And we're going to need some time to apply for PTD, Your Honor.
Okay. I can give you maybe like an early November date and see where we're at to make sure that that application gets submitted. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works, Your Honor.
11/9 at 9:30. 11/9 at 9:30, Mrs. Garcia. Stay in contact with your attorney. He may be requesting some information from you to get that application submitted to the DA's office. So 11/9, November the 9th at 9:30 is the next reset date.
Can I be excused, Judge?
Both you and Ms. Garcia are excused.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Michael Parson.
Good morning, Your Honor. First, I want to apologize for missing court this morning. I guess I just misscheduled it, so I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
I have numbers 9 and 10 on your docket, Virgil Coronado.
All right, that's CR 1907-366H and CR 1810-379H. State of Texas versus Virgil Coronado III. Mr. Coronado present.
I did contact him yesterday. He said he would be present online, Your Honor. I believe the state has a announcement on this case.
That is correct, Judge. I have been in contact with Mr. Parson regarding this matter. This is a matter that was previously set for trial. However, I spoke with the victim. The victim was willing to drop charges upon a anger management completion, Judge. We did receive that certificate. However, I wasn't able to get the victim in for an A&P, Judge. If it's okay with defense counsel, I was going to ask for a quick 2-week reset, see if we can get him to come in for an A&P, at which point we will be dismissing this case, Judge.
All right, 2-week reset, September 30th. Are you okay with that, Mr. Parson?
Of course, Your Honor.
All right, September 30th at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all the cases I have on the docket, but I will remain online in case the court needs me.
If it's what I'm going to do on this case also, since Mr. Coronado is not present, I'm going to grant a motion for continuance. And that's just so that we can jot down in our notes that he wasn't here today and that he must be here on the 30th, okay?
I'll advise him of that, make sure he's present, Your Honor.
Sounds good. And thank you for standing by. Okay, let me just make an announcement for him. Let me go ahead and look at number 52, Rosbel Vega. Mr. Vega, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Vega, Mr. Trevino logged on earlier. You were not here, but I gave him a reset date for 10/5 at 9:30. Okay, 10/5 for you. So
Okay,
just
Your Honor.
stay in contact with him, and the reset date is October the 5th at 9:30, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You're excused. All right, Mr. Cantu, Arturo Cantu.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 16, 17, and 18, Cecilia Guadalupe Garcia.
All right, 16, 17, and 18, CR 2102, 634H, CR 1910, 261H, CR 1910, 260H, State Detective versus Cecilia Garcia.
And not sure if that's her on the screen, says Cecilia. Is that?
Yes, I believe that may be her. I have a note here. Defendant did not show up for drug court participation observation twice and is no longer a candidate.
Yes, Your Honor. Can she unmute if that's her?
Cecilia, if that's you, Ms. Garcia, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Would the court consider another orientation for her, Your Honor, or that's out the window?
All right. Well, I mean, she's missed twice already, and obviously that's a concern. Active participation is a concern. Victoria,
Yes.
any?
Judge, also the counselor Miguel Garza tried contacting her to do the screening ASI and no response from her.
Yeah, and Ms. Bettis from my office have sent emails to her and again, doesn't log on. So I appreciate her being on today. For
Yes,
sure,
Your Honor.
But obviously it drug court, as everyone knows, requires active participation, and it requires quite a commitment to number 8, to first and foremost change their lives, and second, a subset of that is to get the case dismissed. So
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Can I get a short reset? The
Ms.
numbers
Garcia,
that I had.
hold on, give me 1 second, Mr. Cantu. Mr. Garcia, you want to say something?
I had recently broke my phone for a while, and I barely got a new phone, and right now I was barely added on to Mr. Cantu's like my number was barely changed right now into his like documents of my information.
We weren't able to reach her yesterday till this morning because of a new phone.
So you're saying that you weren't able to get the emails, and that's why you didn't log on for any of the drug court?
Yes, I have a different email now, and my phone broke and everything.
All right, I'm going to give you one more chance, Ms. Garcia. Contrary
sir.
to what I'm sure everybody is of the opinion, I'm going to give you one more chance. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to need your email. All right. So
Okay.
here's what I'm going to need you to do. Do you have that email now? Do you know your email?
Yes,
All right, go ahead.
it's KYLEY Garcia 120100@gmail.com.
Can you repeat the numbers one more time?
120100@gmail.com.
Okay. We're going to send you a test email right now, and you're going to be ordered to appear for our next drug court, which is October the 12th. October the 12th. That's October 12th. I'm going to reset this case for the same day, 10/12. In case you
Okay.
don't show up there, you're going to be ordered to show up here. This one will be at
Okay.
9:30. The other one, drug court, will be at 8:55. We meet at 8:55. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So 8:55, 10/12, and then Mr. Cantu, we're going to set this one up for 10/12 at 9:30. In case she doesn't show up to drug court, she's ordered here. That way, if she doesn't appear here, then I'm going to take out a warrant for her. So
Yes, Your Honor. That's a
we
good
do need
idea.
we do need a phone number from her. Ms.
Okay.
Cantu?
Go ahead.
Garcia, I'm sorry.
956-899-8311.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank
Ms.
you, Your Honor.
Garcia,
Appreciate
now
it.
you know what you need to do. What time are you going to log on at on 10/12?
At 8:55.
Perfect. And you're going to be receiving an email with a Zoom link to that email that you provided us, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Arredondo.
Yes. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Your Honor, we're here on number 44, Your Honor, Guadalupe Ramirez.
Number 44. CR 2103-947H, State of Texas versus Guadalupe Salazar Ramirez.
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. Delmiro Redondo, Judge, present for Mr. Guadalupe Ramirez. So we just have a quick announcement, Your Honor. We have the PTD application ready. He needs to take the drug test, Judge, which he hasn't since. It's a little bit hard for him, Judge, since he works out of state. I could just get another 30-day reset, Your Honor.
How do we do that, Mr. Garcia? How do we do a drug test when he's out of state?
Generally, let me get in contact with my superiors, Judge. I know that when it's an ADR format, we do accept drug tests from local labs wherever they're at. But being that this is PTD, I don't know if we'd be inclined to accept it, Judge. But let me get it, Mr. Arredondo, an answer, and then we can go forward from there.
Sounds good.
I'll talk to Mr. Garcia, Judge. I'll talk to Mr. Garcia after that.
All right, 10/14 as a reset date.
14, Judge. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have for today. Might be excused.
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Have yourself a great day, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Billy Chapa.
Good morning, Judge. I have number 50 on your docket.
50.
Yes.
CR 20-00337H, State of Texas versus Jorge Luis Torres.
Right, Judge. I don't see him online. I was in contact with them yesterday and last week, so I'm not sure if he's going to be signing on. We had previously requested a jury trial in this case some time ago. It's basically the same issue now. We just asked that we be kept on the trial docket.
All right, this is an assault. We're not looking at bench trial, possibility of bench trial on this one?
Not on this one, Judge. This
Okay.
is one where we're specifically requesting a jury trial.
All right, trial docket call, trial on the merits. Guys, just to kind of keep this process going, I'm going to give you 12/2 at 1:30 for docket call, 12/6 at 1:30 for trial. Again, I have quite a bit on schedule for that, but I just want to see where we're at, and I don't want to kick this into next year. So I want to see where we're at. So is Jorge Luis Torres present? All right. I also don't want to wait until December to have him show up. Has he ever been? Give me 1 second. If he's never been, there's never been an eyesight taken out against him, I'll go ahead and give you that date and we'll just leave it. If there has been eyesight, then we'll. All right, we'll leave it there, Billy. He hasn't been given an eyesight before, so we'll, or a motion for continuance.
Very well, Judge.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I had previously issued an eyesight and I recalled it. So let me do this. Scratch the trial dates. Scratch those dates. Motion for continuance. Probably now number 2 is granted. And I'm going to give you a short reset date for September 30th. He must be present on September 30th. And if he is, then I'll give you those dates again. Or maybe dates that we might move into January at that point.
Is that 9:30 a.m. as well?
9:30, September 30th, yes.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I have nothing further. May I be excused?
You're excused, thank you. All right, Mr. Sahadi, you're giving me a reaction button by raising your hand.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. I have number 51 on the docket.
Number 51 is CR 21-042068, Teodoro Trejo IV.
Yes, sir. I'm requesting a little bit more time, Judge. It appears that the gentleman does have another DWI, although it predates this DWI. Now, this DWI was only recently filed, but it was filed in Court 10. I don't see an attorney of record. I did note that he is set for arraignment in that case on the 20th of October. So I'm just requesting a little bit of time in order to evaluate his options, speak with the other attorney, and see what may be available to him.
All right, give me 1 second. So he's got a case out of Court 8 and a case out of Court 10?
Yes, and the Court 10 case actually predates the present case here, Judge. And it predates in terms of the commission of the offense.
Right. Well, maybe we send this one to Court 10.
That's fine, Judge. That's not a problem. Or from the 10 to 8, that would work just as well.
Guys,
8 to 10 sounds better, Judge.
I think I like 10 to 8, but whatever the court decides, Judge.
Yeah, let's keep them together. I think that one way or another, let's keep them together. So since the 2019 case is in Court 10, I'm going to send this one to Court 10 as well.
Very well, Judge.
So we will do the order of transfer, Mr. Sahadi. Stay in contact with Court 10. I can't give you a date, but what I can tell you is that today we'll work on the order of transfer. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. And my client is present.
I do see him there. Unfortunately, since it's going to go over there, I can't give you a date. And Mr. Trejo, I can't give you a date. So the best advice I have for you to know when your case is going to get called so a warrant won't be issued and there's no issues is you stay in contact with Mr. Sahadi. You and him have got to be holding hands through this so that he can tell you exactly what date they're going to give you in Court 10. So the moment it reaches Court 10, they'll give you a date on it, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. May we both be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Okay, let me see. Who do I have left? Mr. Salinas, Kennedy.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
I can hear you.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Mr. Eduardo Zuna. He's number 41 of your docket. You can see him there.
All right, Eduardo Ozuna, CR 20-01-883H. I have attorney to have staffed the case with Juan Viescas when Juan Viescas is no longer with the DA's office for possible PTP removal. I have pending probation fees and positive BAC. My note.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may, and I did speak with the state, Your Honor, and it was yesterday. He's been up to date. The whole deal with that is the 150, but I think he pays that every month. He has the money to pay that. For what happened with the results, he is a machine operator for several oil companies, but he does travel from Washington State, Minnesota, whatever. Several of those happened because there was a 2-hour differences in the time zone. He was in California, in Washington. He explained that to his probation officer, Your Honor. Other than that, the other ones have, I think nothing has come out that he's for any alcohol or substantial alcohol at all. But for that, with the testing, I think this happened recently because he was been traveling a lot. And that was the reason, the time zone differential. And also the other things was basically he was always pretty much in a vehicle. But other than that, Your Honor, I deferred. I spoke with the state. They said that they would oppose it. They would defer to you. He's been on this for a while, Your Honor. He has a job, Your Honor, that he works, throughout the nation. We're asking that at least what's been a hindrance is the breathalyzer, Your Honor, because where he's at and all that, time zone differentials and everything, Your Honor. And we would just ask the court that if I think he should be up by December, we're asking the court if we could remove the breathalyzer. Up to that, he's been up to par, I believe. With I think with the 150, he has the money to pay that, but I think he pays that every month at some time. So, Your Honor, other than that, I'll defer to the state, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I don't see any notes regarding a modified PTD. Generally, DWIs are PTDs for 1 year, Judge. He has crossed the 6-month timeline. However, his date, I believe, is December 9th of 2021. That is his 1 year status. The contract with the state was for 1 year, Judge. And again, I don't see anything regarding a modified PTD or early removal. So at this time, I would oppose any PTD removal, Judge.
So he's on PTD. He was staffing it. Mr. Kennedy Salinas was staffing it with Mr. Viescas or someone from the DA's office about an early removal because of the fact that he's in a different state working and it's an inconvenience. His PTD expires on December the 9th. He has some probation fees. Again, I'm not concerned about the probation fees. I'd like to hear about the positive VAC violation. Victoria, do you have any information on that?
Yes, Judge, I just received a report from Safety Check that he had a positive on September 9th at 10:23 p.m. It was a 0.0392. And then at 10:47 p.m., a 0.0272. And he continued to test with that same amount. So as per Safety Check, it was consistent with alcohol.
Okay, can you repeat those numbers? Because Eduardo, if you can stay on mute, because I'm getting some interference with you. All right, so just be on mute real quick until okay, I'm gonna put you back on mute because, all right.
Can I share the screen, Judge?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh, it says that you disabled screen sharing.
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. There it is.
Okay. So it's that one right there on September 9th.
So we've got a fail at 0.03, and then he took some follow-up tests and it went down. Okay. Okay. There's been no other violations, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was on the 9th. Go ahead.
I have the proof here also on my phone. It's the app from the breathalyzer. Like you said, the September 9th, it went from 0.03 to 0.2 because that's what they asked. They asked me to do it every 15, 20 minutes. But once it goes down to 0.01, the machine says pass. Once it says pass, they told me that you're good. But once it goes to 0.01, the breathalyzer will say pass. So I don't keep going. But other than that, it's not like I can assure you that it's not because of the alcohol. 0.03 it has gone up more because of what I eat or whatever. It's my perfume, cologne, or inside the truck whenever they my truck, whatever the breathalyzer inside, the aroma of that has happened several times. But like I said, that's what they told me to do. It's always gonna come out to something like that, and then you just have to keep breathing and keep doing the breathalyzer every 15 minutes until it goes down to 0.01, and that's where the breathalyzer can say that's why I keep doing it.
Okay. So as I see it here, I think we've got several issues. Well, we really only have one issue, in my opinion. We've got an individual who's on PTD for a DWI, who had a positive VAC 0.03. Assuming that I take no action on that and I just give him a verbal admonishment that, hey, watch out, be careful, don't use cologne, yada, yada, yada. We can continue him on PTD, but Mr. Kennedy wants to early terminate him, and that's where the state has an objection, especially given the 0.03. So in this situation, I'm almost compelled to say, you know what, we're going to take no action on the positive VAC that occurred on September 9th. We're just going to give a verbal admonishment, but we're going to continue him until the 1 year status and make sure that there's no issues between now and December. 3 months down the road, and if there's no issues, then it terminates there, even though it doesn't have to technically, right? It's a 2-year status. It's a 2-year program with a 1-year status. Am I reading this correctly, or am I off? Mr.
No, that's exactly correct, Judge, and that was what I was going to reiterate for the court. That the contract is for a 1-year status date. Generally, if there's a modified PTD, that agreement has to come in before they sign that contract, the original contract. And again, I understand the situation, but I also understand that there was a contract that with the state that was signed, and we put him on this program for a 1-year status date. He requested the 6-month status, and I understand that. And I understand if there were maybe some notes with my superiors about maybe modified PTD or early termination, but I don't see any of those notes. I'm not stating that maybe there wasn't a conversation that didn't go on with Mr. Viescas, but Mr. Viescas was very good about putting down notes, and I don't see anything on there, Judge, and I'm not going to. I will continue to object to any early termination at this time, given that he did sign that contract, and I don't see anything stating otherwise.
Right. Well, I think at this point, the fact is that he actually has a positive violation regardless of why it happened. Usually speaking, the state is of the opinion that maybe we could give a verbal admonishment and not revoke him or not remove him from the program. And that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to not remove him from the program. We're going to give him a verbal admonishment. But unfortunately, with that comes the fact that there's a violation, and we're going to see each other on December the 9th at 9:30. And if there's no more violations between now and then the state is probably going to remain silent. And Mr. Kennedy is going to come and ask for him to be removed, because it could be up to 2 years. But at the 1-year mark, Mr. Kennedy is going to do his job, and Mr. Salinas is going to do his job and request a court to early terminate him. And that's where we're going to be on December 9th, right?
Yes. Your Honor, if I may, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, and then for December 9th, would I do a motion before that for early termination, or I'll make the announcement?
No. You don't have to make an early, you just come and, the state may object, but there's no need. We all have this understanding that at the 1-year mark, if there's no violations, then we can terminate him at that point. There's no need for a motion.
Okay, thank you.
But make sure that there's no more violations between now and then.
Okay.
Because he's already been verbally admonished once. We can extend it past the 1 year. It's not an automatic termination as long as there's no violations. I'm treating today as a verbal admonishment and nothing more.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay?
Thank you.
So we're going to take no action at this point, I guess is what I'm saying, other than the verbal admonishment, and we will see each other on the 9th of December, 9:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Be excused.
Both of you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
I have Mr. Reynaldo Garza. If he's available, I also have Mr. Sanchez. Whoever unmutes first. Mr. Garza? Mr. Sanchez. All right, Mr. Garza's making an active attempt.
Judge, did you call me? I'm sorry.
I did. Are you ready?
I'm
Or are
in
you in
another
another
hearing
court?
right now. I apologize. If I could
Okay.
have a minute.
If you're in another hearing, no problem. Let me go ahead and see if Mr. Sanchez is available. Sergio, are you available? Serge? Mr. Sanchez? Can you unmute yourself?
Is that good? Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Are you in another court hearing?
Judge, yes, sir. 389th, Court 2, Court 9, and 197th out of Cameron.
Okay. Let me see real quick if I can maybe take care of you, and that way.
Judge, no, I'm on with you. And thank you for recalling the case, Your Honor.
Okay, 28 and 29, I believe. CR 1915-987H and CR 1915-986H, State of Texas versus Marco Antonio Ibarra.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Mr. Ibarra's on bond. He's got these 2 cases on your docket. We had submitted a PTD request. I believe that was denied. I'm asking for additional time to ask that be reconsidered. I know it was some time back, Judge, but I'm not sure who to reach out to. I believe it's Mr. Garza now, rather than Mr. Viescas.
Correct. I see Mr. Ibarra present. Are you just asking for some additional time to maybe incur or inquire from them?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking that the PTD request be reconsidered, maybe with additional requirements. Or Judge, there's also a Class C misdemeanor that's pending out of the Edinburgh Municipal Court. It might entail pleading to a Class C and then maybe attaching some PTD on top. That's something that I would ask them to consider.
Okay, let me give you a 1014. That's 30 days, so you can talk to Mr. Garza, see where you're at, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Ibarra, stay in contact with Mr. Sanchez, but 1014 will be the reset date, okay?
All right, sounds good, Judge. May I be excused?
You're excused, thank you.
Thank you.
I can make a quick announcement on mine while I'm waiting.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
Serge, are you done?
Yes, sir, I'm done. And
all right, you're excused.
Good day.
All right, Mr. Garza, I'll go to you real quick.
Already mentioned that we have not already mentioned.
Judge, if I may, I believe I have number 30 and 32, Mr. Alec, or 30 and 31, Mr. Alec Kalegi.
All right, that's CR 20-05-047H and CR 20-01-769H, Alec Kalehi. He is present.
Yes, Your Honor, we're attempting to work out an agreement with the state, although we haven't been able to finalize that agreement. It's Mr. Kalegi's position that the Class A misdemeanor that he is not he is not guilty of that. He's willing to work out the Class B misdemeanor. We just need to finalize the details with the state. If I could get a trial date at the next available opportunity, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
Judge, can we set it for a 30-day status and then we'll go from there? I don't want to, these are two drug cases, but if we're going to try to work it out, then give me some time to reassess the case, send over a recommendation, get in contact with Mr. Garza and see what we can do. And then if we can't come to an agreement, then we'll proceed with a trial.
I agree with that. That may be a case, Mr. Garza, where visit with the state, they may be willing to dismiss one if you please to the other.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, 1014 is the reset date, 1014 at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, 1014, Alec.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You both are excused. Right, Miguel Arzola, Mr. Orlando Cantu, he was present, right? And then he logged off. He probably got tied up in another court. State, do we have any information on this one?
I'll defer to head out on this one, Judge.
Your Honor, we have been working with Attorney Cantu. We're supposed to get a clean UA and defensive driving course as well. And I think Mr. Arzola may have already done the defensive driving course. And I think I sent the clean UA letter to them yesterday to get that done. And there was also a pending $250 donation that we were going to ask the courts for some guidance on as to who or where that donation should be made to, was what my discussion with Attorney Cantu was with yesterday.
That's from our recommendation, Judge. It's just any charitable organization of the defendant's choosing.
Okay. All right, so let's do this, Mr. Arzola, so that you're not waiting. I'm going to give you a 2-week reset just so that you can take care of that, or unless you think you need more time to come up with that money to give to that donation to the charitable organization.
No, Judge, I have the money.
All right.
I only have one question. Does it have to be in cash or in money order?
It'd probably be better in a money order. That way you can have a receipt for it.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
Yes. All right, 9:30. At 9:30. So 9:30 at 9:30 is your reset date. We'll let Mr. Cantu know, okay? That way you're not waiting for him.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, number 6, CR 21-00-514H, Anne Marie Burton. Do we have any information on that? Like unsuccessfully removed?
Judge, last time y'all gave her an extension. She was pending the drug education class and court costs payment, but she has not contacted me since the last hearing.
All right, Ms. Burton is going to be removed from pretrial diversion. All right, defendant removed from PTD. And that takes care of our docket for today. Mr. Parsons, thanks for staying on board.